Hi, I'm Brad, and these are my audience members. DJ Weber, Morgan,
Hi.
and my friend Steve.
Hi.
You guys ready?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself to be a conscious consumer? How does it feel to hear that a large percentage of the food that we consume and purchase didn't even exist 50 years ago? Over the next 5 minutes, I will be sharing some interesting information with you guys to explain the scenario. The genetic modification of plant and animal products is a highly important topic that has recently stirred up an abundance of controversy, ethically, legally, and morally, particularly for food and health enthusiasts like myself. GMOs is short for genetically modified organisms, or in other words, food that has been chemically and or genetically altered, manipulated, and tampered with. Genetically modified organisms are used frequently in food products which include corn, chicken, milk, soybean, tomatoes, pigs, cows, etc. The genetic modification of plants and animals is a new experimental frontier in science fraught with various philosophical, ethical, and health-related uncertainties, and an alarming lack of long-term study. First, I will present information on the history of this particular topic and explain to you how GMOs are created. Next, I will explain why this phenomena still exists, and lastly, I will shed light on what is currently being done to prevent, hinder, and regulate this Franken-food experiment. Genetically modified organisms are plants or animals created through the gene splicing techniques or biotechnology. This particular type of technology merges DNA from different species, creating unstable combinations of plant, animal, bacterial, and viral genes that cannot occur in nature. Over the years, GMOs have become a multi-billion-dollar business operating by multinational companies for the sole purpose of profiting. GMOs are extremely unsafe, and there have been some evidence suggesting the potential health risks caused by these certain foods. According to Magani, 2009, scientists with the FDA warn us that these particular foods create unpredictable, hard-to-detect side effects, including allergies, toxins, new diseases, and nutritional problems. Nearly 50 countries worldwide have created significant restrictions in order to inhibit the production and sale of these particular foods. These countries include Australia, Japan, and all countries in the European Union. However, in the United States, the government has approved GMOs based on studies conducted by the same corporations that created them in the first place, and by the same corporations that profit from their sales. Since these foods are potentially dangerous to our health, and since so many countries have banned them, some remaining questions are, why hasn't there been more discussion on this particular matter? And why are these foods still legal in the United States? The reasons behind why these unfortunate acts continue to occur and will continue to occur is because food lobbyists spend millions upon millions of dollars to ensure that the majority of Americans remain ill-informed about the products they consume. In fact, despite the scientific evidence that suggests the potential health effects associated with consuming these products, the FDA claims that labeling these particular products is unnecessary. Another seriously unfortunate factor is that many American shoppers really do not care to think what they are purchasing and putting into their bodies. Consumers put blind faith in food companies to provide something nutritious and rarely invest the time necessary to learn and become competent enough to live a healthy lifestyle. However, all across the United States, there are conscious communities and individuals waking up to the harsh reality of this 21st century food fiasco. Non-GMO labeling has become commonplace on organic food, been making its way onto Capitol Hill as well. Last year, an overwhelming 96% of Vermont voters petitioned for a right-to-know GMO labeling bill to legally force food companies to fully disclose the quality and source of their ingredients. In a historic 8-3 vote, HCAFP voted in favor of the GMO labeling bill, which would require producers to put labels on raw agricultural, processed, and packaged food products that contain GMO ingredients. Earlier this month, Whole Foods Market became the first national grocery chain to set a deadline for full GMO labeling transparency. We are putting a stake in the ground on GMO labeling to support the consumer's right to know, said Walter Rubb, co-CEO of Whole Foods Market. We the people have the right to know what we are putting in our bodies, and thankfully our passionate activism is finally making an impact and a difference on a large scale. So, we've been over the history of GMOs, their role in our society, and the changing social climate around these controversial nature. This widely debated ethical dilemma is a new experimental frontier in science fraught with various philosophical, ethical, and health-related uncertainties, and an alarming lack of long-term study. Hopefully this speech has made you aware of the issues at hand and encourage you to become more conscious consumers. Thank you.
Good job, man.